Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's going on YouTube? Diggy546. Definitely hit that subscribe button if you're new. Like the video if you like the video. And I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. Alright, so I'm seeing a lot of shenanigans. And I'm going to keep this very simple. I'm going to be very consistent because I've been consistent with this for years. First off, why do we have to have the DJ slander? Why do we have to have the DJ slander? There's been so much talk about trading for Deshaun Watson, trading for Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, the Deshaun Watson trade at this point is just destroyed with everything that's going on with Deshaun Watson. But now Aaron Rodgers. First off, trading multiple first-round picks for Aaron Rodgers. Let's break this down. I'll start at the beginning. First off, you're building a young team. A young team that has a ton of talent on the offensive side, on the defensive side. Kenny Golladay, what is our oldest skill player? Well, Kyle Rudolph is over 30. But besides that, Kenny Golladay and Evan Ingram are our older skill players. And what are they, like 26, 27? Yeah, so Golladay is probably the oldest, 26, 27. DJ is around, what, 24, 23. Saquon is around the same age. When you look at the offensive line, they're all young besides Nate Solder. The entire offense is filled with young talent. The entire defense is filled with young talent. Guys who are impressionable, guys who have not gotten the win in this league, guys who have not earned their stripes yet in this league. All right, so you're building this team. You like what direction you're going in, and you want to give away the future. And while you're building a great team, you want to give away the future of that team for a 37-year-old quarterback who has not been to the Super Bowl since 2010, with some of, I mean, how many excuses are we going to make for a guy in Aaron Rodgers who has consistently not won the big games, consistently come up short, consistently thrown the ball away to try to pad his stats, do a lot of different things to try to save face, consistently point fingers at his teammates, point fingers at his coach, literally was throwing games so he could get his head coach fired. This is the same guy that you want to mortgage your future for. A guy who, listen, first off, this debate of this video is not, let's compare Aaron Rodgers and Daniel Jones. Because obviously Aaron Rodgers is a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. That's not something to debate. That's not what the issue is here. My issue is this. If you look at these two, there's two different situations. You can win a Super Bowl with an elite quarterback. And I think Daniel Jones can eventually develop into an elite quarterback. But you can also win a Super Bowl with an okay quarterback, or just an above average quarterback, or just a quarterback who just got hot. And I know some people are going to place Eli in there. I think Eli is kind of a mixed bag. Sometimes he was elite, sometimes he was just above average. But you can win a Super Bowl with a ton of different levels of quarterback. You also have to have a team around that quarterback, because I'm sure a lot of people are typing that Aaron Rodgers hasn't had a team, which I disagree with. But if you want to say he hasn't had a team, well, guess what? You got to have a team around him. You got to continue to bolster things up around him. He's had a lot of great offensive lines. I mean, when you look at the tackles that he's had, the bookend tackles that he's had, consistently had guys like Bakhtiari, Bulaga. He's consistently had guys who were just very, very good at tackle, who always have kept his blind side good. And he's always had that one receiver. He's always had that one receiver, Davante Adams now, who is, to me, a top 3 or 4 receiver in this league. Very underrated to say that Aaron Rodgers doesn't have enough weapons when you have someone like that on your team. Bringing in Kenny Golladay, we hope that he could develop into the level of receiver that Davante Adams or DeAndre Hopkins is. We hope that he can develop into that. But if you bring a guy that's like that already, and you bring that guy in there, even though Davante Adams was drafted, but you get the point. That kind of receiver makes everything else better. It doesn't matter what else you have out there. He's going to get other people open. He's going to always be open because he's such a great route runner, such a great receiver in general. So we have to give credit to that Aaron Rodgers has had help, and he has consistently come up short. He came up short last year against Brady, and that pretty much brings me to this. Tom Brady is pretty much running the NFC right now. Tom Brady has a mental hold over Aaron Rodgers, in my opinion. And if Aaron Rodgers came to the Giants, yes, I think right now the Giants around with the quarterback, if you look at the entirety of the team and the entirety of the roster, I do believe that the Giants have a better team than the Packers. But when I look at the Packers in the past couple of years, I mean, Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith is no slouch. There's no slouch at pass rush. And I've already told you what I thought about Aaron Rodgers' offense. Aaron Jones, Devontae Adams, Jamal Williams off the bench. That's no slouch of an offense either. But I do believe right now the Giants have become a better team around the quarterback. Excluding the quarterbacks, they're a better team than the Packers. Do I believe that Aaron Rodgers with this team that still isn't as good as the Bucs is ever going to be able to beat Tom Brady? I don't. I just don't see it. I don't see it happening. Aaron Rodgers is a guy who cowers under these situations. And when situations get tough, he points the finger. He does not take accountability. We have been sitting through years of Eli Manning and even a little bit of Daniel Jones and great coaches who consistently say, listen, this is on me. This is my fault. Aaron Rodgers does not do that. He does not do that, and that can kill a culture. It doesn't matter how many touchdowns you're throwing. If you're throwing 2 interceptions and 40 touchdowns, what does it matter if you're not winning? Now, I do expect us, if Aaron Rodgers were here, to win the division pretty much every year he's here. He's that good. He is that good. But when it comes to winning the big games, what we will bring him in for, anything short of a Super Bowl, if we were to trade multiple firsts for him, is a bust. It's a lost trade. And I just don't think he can do that. Now moving on to Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones has accelerated in his young career. He's accelerated. When you look at his first year, the stats were much better than his second year, excluding the fumbles. The fumbles were all-time bad his first year. And it's been all-time bad so much that people are trying to compile his first 2 years to try to use his first year's fumbles and add them together with his second year fumbles to try to make it seem like it's an ongoing issue. And that's a whole different video about stats and how we can use those to come up with things and make up things and, tell stories that aren't necessarily that accurate. And I got that video coming very soon. But back on topic. Daniel Jones last year cut the turnovers down. Looked like he was in much more control of the offense, especially in that second half of the year. It was like he had eyes in the back of his head, much more pocket maneuverability, pocket presence, whatever you want to call it. He knew when guys were coming. He moved out of the way. He extended plays. At the beginning of the year, you saw him able to extend plays better. But when he would do it, he would kind of panic and just throw the ball away. He would throw the ball into coverage. He would throw it directly to defenders. And it would be a horrible, horrible situation. Nowadays, Daniel Jones in his last, 5-6 games of that season, first off, only had 3 turnovers in his last 6 games, which for someone that had all of those turnovers at the beginning of his career, that's pretty good. He also had the longest non-interception streak of last year. He didn't throw any interceptions until Evan Ingram, of course, tipped the ball up in the air and dropped it, and that caused an interception. So that, of course, ended his streak. But Daniel Jones improved with the turnovers. He improved with his mobility and being able to use that to his advantage. Now when you see him scramble, he actually makes good plays out of it instead of just throwing an interception. He has improved fully as a quarterback. If you watch the way he sees the field now versus 2019, 2019, he could have had over 20 interceptions. The way he saw the field and made a lot of mistakes and made a lot of really, really questionable throws in 2019. 2020, everything looked like it slowed down for him. A ton of times he got us inside the 5-yard line and we ran the football in. And of course you don't get a touchdown for that. Of course you don't. But that is a touchdown leading drive that Daniel Jones had. So we have to think about how he's improved so far. We also have to think about the fact that we'll have multiple firsts after this upcoming year. So if you think that Daniel Jones is not going to improve this year, right? Say he's not going to improve. Say he regresses. Say he has another 12 touchdowns and 15 interceptions or something ridiculous, something awful like that. Well, guess what? You can get rid of Daniel Jones after this season. You can trade multiple firsts, multiple thirds, multiple fourths, because we have all of that next year. And you can go get Aaron Rodgers then, or you can go get another quarterback then. You can trade up and go get someone. You can do whatever you want with those picks. Why not keep the guy that you have? Keep this quarterback that you have, Daniel Jones. See if he does break out. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I feel like he does, but maybe he doesn't break out. You have the insurance plan already in place. Why jump the gun? What if you trade Daniel Jones away and he becomes a top 8 quarterback? You know, just say he becomes a top 8 quarterback for the rest of his career. You've given up first to go get someone else who's going to give you 3 years of, you know, top 4. And, you know, maybe in his 3rd year, he'll be top 10, top 15. Who knows? Who knows? Because these quarterbacks fall off of cliffs. But maybe he gives you 2 all-pro years. And then after that, he's just a very good quarterback. Well, guess what? Daniel Jones at that point of his career could be a top 10 quarterback, and you'll have him for the next 10 years. So think about what you're doing when you just want to give up everything for an old quarterback who has not been to the Super Bowl since 2010. Aaron Rodgers' skill set is all-time great. He can make throws that no one else in the history of the NFL can make. He can run and make throws behind his back. He can do pretty much everything you see Patrick Mahomes do, Aaron Rodgers can pretty much do. He can pretty much do whatever you want on the football field. The thing is, it doesn't translate to wins, big wins. It does not translate to that. It does not translate to leadership. It does not translate to galvanizing his team to be an elite kind of team. Tom Brady took that Buccaneers team. They did not add much to that team. He took that team and made them look very elite. And part of that is because everything came together. Part of that is because Tom Brady is just a good player. And part of it is that his defense believed in him. His offense believed in him. The coaching staff believed in him. And they leaned into Tom Brady, and that inspires people. People underestimate the fact that these are all people on the field. And when they believe in their leader of the football team, you can get Super Bowls. If you don't believe in that guy, it doesn't matter how good he is. If you don't believe in him, a lot of those big games you're going to end up losing out on. If you don't like your leader, if you think that your leader is someone that's just, you know, barking out stuff to save his own self, guess what? You're probably not going to give the same kind of effort as if your leader is making you feel like we're all part of the same team trying to work toward the same goal of winning. I want to win. I don't want a quarterback to just throw 50 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I want to win, and I think right now the Giants are on the perfect track to win. Daniel Jones is my quarterback until further notice. I'm not getting rid of him for an old Aaron Rodgers who we don't know how many more years he has. We don't even know how much he even likes football enough to play 3 more years in this league. We just don't know. He might want to go host Jeopardy after this year. So I don't need him throwing people under the bus. I don't want that here. I don't want it. So you guys let me know. I'm not trading for Aaron Rodgers. I don't want that dude anywhere near my football team. But you guys let me know what you think. If you made it this deep into the video, come on, just hit the subscribe button. I make Giants content primarily, draft content secondarily, and during the season, I'm going to be doing a lot of reacting to pretty much most of the NFL games and everything NFL. So if you made it this deep, go ahead and join the D6 squad.